getting into it here today. I hope everyone's doing well. Sounding good, man. This is that brand new, fresh from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. You guys noticed this big Martin box behind me maybe last week. And this is the Billy Strings D-28. And this thing has a purpose. The purpose is bluegrass weaponry. No, in all seriousness. The reason that I got this thing was that I have a couple of really super nice acoustic guitars, some super nice Martins, and I didn't want anything to happen to them while I was touring or traveling or anything like that. They have sentimental value to me. One, my granddad gave me one of them when I was 16, and you got to understand my family doesn't have a lot of money when I was a kid, so that was a big deal. And then the other one, I returned the favor when I turned, I guess I was about 20 or 21, and I won the Guitar Center, the nationwide Guitar-mageddon contest. One of the prizes was a $10,000 gift certificate. So with that gift certificate, I spent all of it, and got my granddad a D-45, and when he passed, that guitar returned back to me. So needless to say, those two guitars are really important, and I don't want anything to happen to them. Also, with those two Martins, I've got a whole video on this coming out. They don't have a drop-in saddle like this. They've got a long saddle. I'll hold it up this other camera right down here. They've got a long saddle, and that long saddle is really hard to put a pickup under, and so I wanted something that could be a weapon out on the road, that could be a good tool for me, and I could play with drummers that have loud stage volume and bass players that have loud stage volume. And when we were at Woodshed, Trey Hensley had a really nice guitar, and I noticed he was playing, man, he had his stage volume ripping in the wedges, and like steel, keys, bass, drums, everything was going, and he didn't have any feedback. And I was like, Trey, what are you using? And he had the Anthem SL. Now, it's not the big Anthem. And I asked him, I was like, why not the big one? He's like, I just think the SL's a little bit better. So I was like, God, I need to do this. So, come back to my Martins. They don't have the drop-in saddles. You need the drop-in saddle, not the long vintage glue-in thing. And so I was like, God, I got to start from zero. So I went on the acoustic guitar search and to find the right weapon for me. There's so many great manufacturers out there, and Lord knows I've toured with Bourgeois guitars, Dana Bourgeois guitars, incredible, just so good. I've got a Collings MF mandolin, and those guitars are so good. But Martin helped me with a Make-A-Wish thing that I did. There was a kid, here in town. We got him a Martin. I'm not gonna. That kind of story is not for the public. It's not about me. But Martin helped me achieve that for that kid, and it was really special. So they stayed at the top of my radar, and of course, being a bluegrass guy, I always come back to Martin. That always feels good to come back. So I talked to my buddy up there at Martin, and he said, "Hey, check out these 3 or 4 And I came into this one. This one has a 25. So obviously I love a D-28. This is basically this is the dreadnought for people that don't like dreadnoughts because they're too hard to play. And we're going to get into that in a second on my thoughts on that. This has a 25 scale length instead of a 25.4 and some change. So it's a little more slinky, you know, for bending or whatever. And I'm using 13 to whatever, 56. So they're big strings and they're hard to bend. But with this string gauge, it's nicer. Man, not string gauge. Sorry, with this scale length on the instrument. I'm just going to touch up the tuning real quick. So what I've got going on, the direct sound that you're hearing from the guitar is this Billy Strings Martin. And it's kind of, ironically, it's another guy's signature guitar based on another guy's signature guitar. So Billy kind of was into the way Santa Cruz would do the shorter scale length for the Tony Rice guitars. And so that's where this came from. So, you know, like anything, we all kind of steal and rob from each other. So this is like Billy's guitar with the Trey Hensley pickup of choice. And, you know, I'm running it direct into my interface. I'm only using the Axe effects for a little bit of EQ and reverb. So you're just hearing just a little bit of EQ in there and some reverb from the Axe effects. Yeah, you know. Get that thing placed just right. Just a little sharp with it. Let's try one more time. A little better. Yeah. Really nice sounded. So this is going to be my main live acoustic guitar for the foreseeable future. I really love the pickup. I mean, I've been able to just crank it. I'm using my monitors here. I'm not using headphones and I'm not getting any feedback. It's really, really nice. And, you know, I've got the Grace preamp and all the stuff over there out of shot in the other side of the studio. But this thing has been really impressive over the past few days. Now, the other half of my title of today's hang is Acoustic Guitar is the Truth. This is a hot take, a scalding hot take, but it's coming at you. I think, in my opinion, if you can really play the guitar, a master of the instrument, the acoustic guitar will tell you. The acoustic guitar will tell you how good you actually are and how good you're not. The acoustic guitar is very unforgiving. A dreadnought is very unforgiving. And yeah, I think there's a lot of brilliant players out there. And I say this. When I've heard my friends that you wouldn't think of as an acoustic guitar player play the acoustic guitar, like I've heard Tom Quayle pick up an acoustic guitar. It's amazing. Like he sounds like Tom Quayle. It's brilliant. I've heard Joe Bonamassa play acoustic guitar. It's incredible. Eric Johnson, incredible. Like these guys aren't acoustic guitar players, but when handed an acoustic, they know how to play. They know the truth. They're not hiding behind, and I really mean that. So if anybody wants to get mad about it, I really mean it. Hiding behind the gain and compression and all of the things that makes electric guitar playing easy. The light strings and people just kind of, here's the telltale for me. When you're kind of sort of sloppy on an electric guitar, the rest of the signal chain can help you out a lot. And I've heard a lot of guys play, and they're kind of sort of sloppy on electric guitar. You hand that person an acoustic, and they get murdered. They get absolutely murdered. Now, this isn't me saying that I'm great. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I dedicate my life to the pursuit of the guitar. That's what I do. I want to be better tomorrow than I am today, right? And because I have this mentality, I do dedicate a lot of time to the acoustic guitar and getting a good sound. You know, it's like it's very important to me because I do have this really scalding hot take of opinion, right? But, you know, it's like I said, I've heard Brent Mason play acoustic guitar, and it's great. Not everybody is meant to sound like Paco de Lucia or Al Di Meola or Tony Rice or anything like that. I'm just saying that the quality of the note and the quality of the hands truly comes through on an acoustic guitar. The adverse of that can also be true, and things that are not that great will also be extra not that great when plugged into acoustic guitar. So here's what I like to do is sit down and we're going to have some fun today. I'm going to teach you an old Bill Monroe tune that I really love, and one that's a standard in bluegrass music. So if you have that weak spot in your playing, today's hang will hopefully strengthen it and help you become a better player, better acoustic player. Get really clean notes. This spawned, obviously, the guitar. Getting a new guitar kind of always spawns new inspiration. And getting the pickup, inspiration, right? But really, the thought of this comes twofold. We had last week's hang on, you know, pride and ego and a lot of that stuff. I got sent a lots of things. People people were sending me things of people hating on me or whatever. It's like, hey man, that's cool. That's fine. I don't really care. It's about coming out of that conversation that we had last week and looking at what is the truth around the instrument. You know, these were just questions and topics I was thinking to myself. And then I got this in, and it was a really brutal week. I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer, but I lost my grandmother this week. And her and my granddad, I spent so much time with them as a kid and even as an adult. And that's the side of the family that I got the music from. That's the mother's side of the family. And so I spent time with the family this week, and I had this guitar and I was playing by her side. Just some real top tier sad stuff, some real heartbreaking stuff. But come back to something that they used to say when I was a kid. It's like, if you can play, you can pick up that acoustic and really play. You don't need all those pedals and amps and things to hide behind, right? And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Now, ironically, one of our Patreon members, one of our brethren, Mr. Ad was, he said he'd been working on some Bigmon. I think I saw Jay Smory in the chat, and said that Jay had a transcription for him, and Ad came to me, and he was working on it. He was sounding good on it, but what I noticed was it wasn't like the notes being wrong. He had all the notes right. Right. He had that right, but he had it kind of sticky. And this is the thing that I notice with guys that don't sound fluid on the electric guitar. And it's also the thing that the sound fluid on acoustic guitar. It's the thing on the electric guitar where the compression and the amplifiers and the distortion and reverbs and delays and everything can kind of help pad. You know, if you play that with a lot of compression, those notes are going to flow a little bit easier. But on acoustic, it's not. So it sounds sticky like that. It doesn't have the sound of maybe. Right? The difference being. And that may be acceptable to some, which is fine, but I want it to be. You can even play it with open strings. so on and so forth. And we would sit here and play Bigmon and have a good time. So I want to show you how to play Bigmon. And this is one of the ones I'd sit on the front porch at my grandparents' house and play. This is also in response to Ad working on the tune and Jay sending him the transcription. We're going to talk about some variations in the tune. And this is also something that's the bit of the challenge, to everyone out there. If you think you got it together and you think you're a good player, go pick up the acoustic with some 13 to 56 on it. And then let that thing tell you what it's going to tell you. Which acoustics tend to do. This is the Billy Strings Martin D-28, and it's really killer. Beautiful sound and instrument, super even. I really love the way it sounds acoustic, but plugged in, man, it sounds really great. So with that said, let's dig in here. Let me show you how I play Bigmon and let me give you some variations of it. Okay, so this is a tune. This is Bigmon by Bill Monroe. Very popular tune, popular on the mandolin and in bluegrass circles. Form of the tune is 2 sections, the first section, 2 laps of that, 2 laps of the second section. So, here's the first section. This is a very simple way to play it. Capo on the first fret, playing out of a G shape. In the key of A, as most bluegrass is. Right? So most bluegrass is going to have that kind of sound. So let's go over this tune. We're going to have the chords first. Let me play the rhythm for you so you can understand the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. All right, that's the rhythm and the chords to a 1, flat 7, 1, 5, 1, right? Okay, we're in the key of A, capo on the second fret. Now let's dig into the head. That's your first part, okay? Play that one more time. Now, a variation on this is you could play it with an open string. Now, if I'm not mistaken, on the old Tony Rice record, where I can't remember which record it's on, but Plastic Bananas on that, I think, or Fish Scale, I think some of those tunes are on it. It's one of the old Tony Rice records. I think he plays it with an open string. It's really got that nice open sound. All those open strings kind of give it those overtones, right? This is with the open string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's do it with the fretted notes, which is kind of more of a precise surgical way to play it. I like the sound of both. Right? See, it's kind of like a little more, like I said, just a little more staccato, especially at tempo. It's kind of just more choppy. so on and so forth. We're not going to worry about that. But yeah, let's play it open G. We're going to do the closed note version first. So 1 up to the 3. So that's just the scale. You can even see the chord shapes. See? You see that 1 to flat 7 right there? Up the scale, then to the flat 7. So 1 to flat 7. Now we're going to play the first tag. This tune has 2 sections on the front, and they each have their own tag to the tune. So the first tag is kind of, this tune is called Bigmon. Bigmon, B-I-G space M-O-N. Here's the first tag. That's the downbeat of the next section of the next lap of the head, right? So we got and this sounds simple enough until you play it at light speed. Then it's not so simple. And I also think it's really important to get the notes flowing into each other. This is what I was working with add. You don't want it to sound like this. That's like you're gripping the pick too hard, and it makes the whole guitar sound choked. And it also gives it that flammed kind of sound. You know what I mean? Or that thing too, right? You want that flow to it. And this is also where I noticed that the heavy strings really help because they have that bounce to them. Death by cross picking for sure. Right, so on and so forth. So let's go over the head one more time, maybe 2 more times. Here we go. 1. Second tag. You don't go up to the F, to the flat 7. That's just on the first one. It's first tag. 1. Second tag. And as my granddad would say, boys, you got to get them notes clean now. Get them clean. I think it was a big advantage of me and Brian growing up. Brian's my cousin, incredible fiddle player, just incredible. And same age, we grew up playing together. Brian plays with Travis Tritt now. We've both been very blessed with a beautiful career in music and playing on the big stage, as they say. And yeah, you know, what are the chances of one person having a good musical career, much less 2, right, from the same family? So we've been very blessed. But Gramps, he never coddled us. He never told us how good we were doing, or yeah, it's so good. He was just always very honest. You know, just get them notes clean. Get that. He used to call it a lope, and that's one of those old Appalachian words. I'm not even sure what it means. We called it a lope. Get that lope going, and that lope, I think he meant was the swung 8th sound. get to that second part in a second. Okay, now let's talk about some variations. Variation 1, open strings. Right. Variation, another variation on the main melody is something you heard me do, where I add in some of those like Brian Sutton style. So that's maybe something for you more advanced guys. It's like some hammer-ons that kind of come in at you. Starting on the third. Yeah. So that would be added like this. Now let's add some, let's add another tag. You just heard me play that tag. Very classic Tony inspired tag. Let's put that together. Variations. Right? So there's some nice little things you do there. And then you could start exploring the space. You know, and start really having some fun with some interpretation. So on and so forth. So we're going to have take a look at that second section, right? This one, it lays nicer on the mandolin, this second part to the tune. And there's always little workarounds that you work, but for the guitar, acoustic guitar, this is how, you know, this. Let me play the chords for it first. So you have up to the 5, 1. second part. Okay. And then we'll start doing questions after I teach you the second part. So we have it's just something that I like to do is have some more chromatics in there. That's all down the G major scale. I'm calling it G even though we're in A. Right? You can really hear that 5 chord. You could also go and have it really in like this kind of. That's more like tough sounded. I do like this brighter one. Like a little more jolly fiddle tune kind of thing. Right? So let's do it slow first. The bright, jolly one. Okay, do it really slow for you guys. I can't do it that slow. Now let's do the tougher one. That really dominant 7th. Now let's play it all together. Really slow. Jog. Variation. Tough. There you go. All right. So we have some Bigmon there for you. Now, if anybody says you go too fast, you don't slow it down, you don't play it slow enough, listen, I'm going to talk to you right now. Practice. Hit the effing pause button. That's one of the number one comments that I see, not even on my page, but on everybody's page. He's not a good teacher. He doesn't play it slow enough. Spoon feed me, cut my meat for me, Dad. Listen, Do y'all know how hard it is when there's no teaching material for bluegrass music and you have to go learn this stuff from Kenny Baker and Sam Bush and Bela Fleck and Jerry Douglas? You hit the rewind button and you just keep doing it until it's right. You know, there was none of this stuff existed. Hell, it still doesn't exist on the level that like metal and shred and rock stuff exists. God, think about how much tuitional stuff there's been over the past 30, 40 years over jazz stuff. You know, they teach that at every university in America. How much classical stuff there is out there. How much, you know, metal and shred. You know, you got guys like Uncle Ben Eller says, this is exactly how you do it. Put your fingers right here. You know, it's like, man, it's not going to hurt anybody to hit pause and use their ear. You know what? I didn't catch that. Let me hit pause. Let me rewind that. Let me watch that again. Let me watch it again and watch it again and do it again. You know, if you could pick up the guitar after watching one video of or mandolin, let's say this. I watched Chris Thiele on Rick Beato's channel. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's just like, it's like Chris is like dadgum alien, man. It's incredible. If I sat down with it and paused it and watched it, I could learn it. I've learned a lot of Chris Thiele stuff over the years. But you don't get it by just watching it once. You don't get it just by hearing it once. And if you can't do it immediately after seeing someone else do it, that's completely normal. You have to go back and revisit and play it again and watch it again and do things over and over again. Put in the time investment. Freaking practice. You know what's holding everybody's playing back? Practice. Are you frustrated with yourself? Practice. You want to get better at fiddle twos? Practice. It's like the work ethic is what makes me have respect for other musicians. It's not how good you are. It's the work ethic. How much time have you devoted to it? Now, ironically, people that devote a lot of time to it, they become better players. But you can tell who's done it. You can tell, here's one for you. You can tell who used to be killer, and they just haven't played a lot in the past couple of years. Like, I've got a good friend, Travis Wyrick. I mean, you can tell he used to be a monster. He's still really good guitar player. Like, really good. But you could tell he used to be really, really good. And he just doesn't play a lot anymore. You can tell that. You know what you can also tell? Somebody who was never good. You were never good. You look at somebody and be like, brother, you never had it. You never practiced. You know? And so does it mean that I'm sitting here just barking at into the void, yelling into the void, saying that everybody should be great or everything should be, you know, this a high level of excellence? No way. That's not what I'm saying. And I don't want it to come across like that. But I am firm in my belief of, are you frustrated with your playing? Do you want it to get better? Practice. Getting on Instagram and swiping and getting on people's comments sections and saying, oh, well, it's actually done like this. Like, not going to be any better. You're not going to get any better like that. So I have seen multiple comments on my stuff because I do teach fast and I do teach at a rapid pace because I'm not spoon feeding. I'm giving you something to go mine and work on and go farm. You know, I see the comments on a lot of other channels. You didn't take the time to talk about this or that. It's like, man, you got to figure that out. Everything's right there for you on Google. Any day you open the internet, you can find a transcription to whatever. But what it doesn't help is, it doesn't help the quality of your notes when you're playing them. All right, let's put this back on. It doesn't help if the notes are clean or not. That only comes from playing the guitar. Do you want a really smooth attack in the cross picking? have that little swing in there, you've got to really farm it. And all of this stuff goes back to what we started talking about at the beginning of the lesson, the beginning of the episode. Whereas you can have the notes right. And this is super common. Guys are like, oh, I can play that. And they sound like this. It doesn't sound smooth. It doesn't sound fluid, right? Well, you watch Trey Hensley play. He plays with just a vicious intensity, but it all sounds so smooth. It's like... You can just hear the guitar like shaking, you know, and Jake Workman's got that smoother kind of sound. It's like when I think of Jake, I think of that like he's almost like a fighter pilot. It's really smooth and really even, and you know, just you know, and Trey's like a muscle car, and I love both of them so much. It reminds me of all my favorite guitar players that I have, like you know, Norman Blake or Tony or, you know, Pat Flynn that played with Newgrass Revival. Or I tell you another one that people don't remember or I don't see get enough credit for is Russ Barenberg. He played on the Mark O'Connor New Nashville Cats record. And Russ is a great player. I remember going to see him live in Hickory, North Carolina with my granddad and my cousin. And it was him, and I want to say it was him and Bela and Jerry Douglas, I think. So, all right, now let's set the before we start. You know, strings are Diodario 13 to 56. The pick is this blue chip, you know, Bluegrass weapon. Here's the normal size pick for electric. Kind of show you how different that is, right? Drastically different size, right? And then Blue Chip also makes a custom pick for me for electric that I really like. Same kind of thing. This is just way bigger, right? You kind of see the... Yeah. Okay. That's the technical specs. All right, let's hit some Q&A here. And let me move that window over. All right. Here we go. I hope everyone's having a great day today, of course. And I hope everyone has a chance to go over to Beato's channel and check out that Chris Thiele thing. It was really fantastic. I'm going to turn off this other camera now that we're not doing any picking. Boom. Okay. So, Vi Sachatrucci, back again. Good to see my friend. He's saying, I saw Billy Strings and Chris Thiele on the Saturday on TV playing I'm a Pilgrim. It's really killer. Roger says your life sounds like a manuscript for a movie. I mean, I guess all of our lives are, you know. Okay. Trucci's also commenting on the Anthem SL. It's really great. Again, I was using the Martin here direct, and so you guys could hear the pickup and how nice it sounds. Dustin Chang is asking about the EQ, and you know, it's nothing drastic. Let me open it up. I've got a boost at 5K, just from some air up top. I've got everything down at 35, so not a lot of dumpiness. And then there's a little dip in the mids around 675 hertz, pulling that down about 5 dB. And then a little bump at 2700, you know, that's about 3 dB bump there. Nothing's crazy, just little moves here and there. Sean Tubbs is saying acoustic guitar is indeed the truth. It's so unforgiving. You're either clean or you're not. I mean, there's just you know, and the recording will tell you. You know, Lord knows some of the worst sessions you can ever have is when you're just kind of not firing on all cylinders and it's an acoustic session, because there's nothing you can do to it. Like it's just got to be good, you know. Why do you put that black thing on? This is a capo, and this is the most trusted weapon in a bluegrass guitarist's arsenal. All this does is change the scale length so bluegrass guitar players can have access to all of those open strings, because that's what, you know, makes it work. As far as capos, traditionally I use the style of capo where it like the door comes up like that. This is just what's laying on my desk, so that's fine for right now. I wouldn't necessarily track an album with that on. Axe Addiction is in the house. How do you transition between playing electric guitar and then hopping on a dreadnought with 13s? I use 12s on my acoustics. Maybe I have weak finger strength. I don't think it's here, let's say this. I don't think it's a matter of weak finger strength or not. I think it's just getting it acclimated to it like it's a different instrument. I don't play the electric like I play the acoustic. And it's, they're different instruments. It's like going to mandolin. I think that's just something that is looked at like playing a completely different instrument, even though they're both guitar, Michael Lynch is in the house. It's a little too mid-rangey. The bass is fine. Treadle could have more sizzle. I mean, that's just where you would EQ it, right? I like it. It's EQ'd like I like it. So Michael, if you like more sizzle, that's great. Cool. I do not. Isaac is saying, the acoustic guitar is how I figured out that I'm not that great of a guitar player. But it also showed me where my deficiencies were. Dude, it'll do that. The acoustic guitar will do that, right? God, that's great. It's really funny. It does it to me too, Isaac. Trust me. Like, there's days I get on that thing and I'm like, God dang, I suck. I need to practice. Okay, rolling on down. Trey Hensley will hurt anyone on the guitar, including electric shredders. Oh, he absolutely will. He absolutely will crush an ego. And it's like, yeah, and it's on 13s. So it's really good. Just rolling through the chat here. Yeah, thank you guys for all the condolences about my grandmother. I didn't really want to bring that up. Axe Addiction 796. What's up with you and Jit Boy? He keeps talking smack about you and Uncle Larry. He sure does. Let him. I think he's desperately trying to get our attention, and I just don't have the bandwidth for it. Uncle Larry, however, is incredible. Tom Bukovac. I think he's an amazing player, and if you notice, the really great players don't make call-out videos. So yeah. Axe Addiction, that guy's just, I hope he finds something that makes him happy because, he just desperately wants attention. Rebecca, thank you for the kind words about my grandmother. Thank you. Again, I didn't mean to bring that up to be like this Debbie Downer. Raw 2050, again with the capo question. It's because the nature of the bluegrass genre, you want to have access to all those open strings when you play bluegrass. And the capo is the vehicle for the tonality. And could you play in an A position? Yeah, but it's not the same, right? The open strings rolling together, it's like, on guitar, you can play the same thing in a million different places, right? Like we could play, I don't know. Oh, sorry. We could play it here. That's the same kind of thing as the capo scenario. You're just wanting to put it in the position where the correct fingerings and open strings and all of those nuance and detail, all of that detail comes out correctly for the style of music that bluegrass is. And often in country, if you're gonna layer in some acoustic guitar rhythms and stuff, you use a capo because it allows everything to just resonate and be nice and open. David says, if you dig flamenco guys, and you don't know him, check out Sabacus, kind of the Paco de Lucia predecessor, my favorite player. Wow. Yeah, I need to check that out. Jeremy Anderson says, my acoustic tells me that my flat picking is trash. The great thing is you can fix that. You can really fix that flat picking with just some tunes like Bigmon and Wheelhouse and all those kind of tunes. Again, people are starting to chime in and say, what's the name of the tune? The name of that tune that we learned today was Bigmon. Yeah, the guitar is great sounding. I really love it. And again, this is the Martin Billy Strings D-28. It's fantastic. I've been just putting on some Billy Strings live concert footage in the background as I've been working and stuff. He uses all kinds of things. He's got like a magnetic pickup in there, but this is the signature model they built for me, and I love it. I love the scale length. It's probably the fastest playing acoustic guitar that I've ever played. Fastest playing Dreadnought. Yeah, man, really good, really good. Jeremy Anderson says the lope is a type of big, wide walking. To lope, a great word. That is a great word. I thought that was just something that Gramsci made up. Yeah. Nick is saying it's a nice, even-toned instrument. Yeah, really good. Jeremy is saying one of the better modern Martins I've heard in a while. You know, it was like you guys are hearing the direct audio from the pickup, which is really impressive. That's the most impressive part of it, is that you're hearing it plugged in, not on a mic, because everything sounds better on a microphone. You know, it's the hardest part is to get it to sound good plugged in, which is the why we came at this thing in the way that we did, right? And Michael says my troll impersonation is hilarious. I mean, that's just the way all the trolls sound in my head. Like, you ever read something, you're like, I know what this guy sounds like. You're like, I played that. You know, that's how all the trolls sound in my head. You know, but again, it's like to me, it's like everybody that punches up. That's all that is a sign of, is like just, you know, swinging upwards. You never see like Joe Satriani punching down. Like, come on, because Joe Satriani, if you got nothing to prove, you don't have to prove it, right? Again, at the end of the day, the resume speaks for itself, you know. Yeah, you have to make that face, right? Nick Granville's saying for sure Sean is right. Acoustic guitar is a humbling truth. Yeah, that's for sure. Big Boy Gamer Guy says, okay, Big Boy Gamer Guy, side note, have you checked out any of the new handhelds that are coming out, like Legion Go 2 and the ROG Ally X Xbox? I'm thinking about getting one of those to have on tour in the bus. So I see Gamer Guy in the name, and I'm wondering if you do some gaming. He says, why the heavy strings? Is it the tension, or is the sound very marginal? To me, the heavy strings allow me to play into the instrument more and allow the wood to resonate better, because I'm able to put more information into the guitar. When I give it more information on a thinner string, you're going to get more flop and percussiveness and less of that round kind of piano-like quality that a really great string has. And I think a heavier string on a Dreadnought just has that nice piano-like quality that I personally really love. Tone Bros 6533 says, Andy, I've been working on not resting my arm against the top of the acoustic or pressing the back of the guitar against me for better tone. How do you approach and think about that? You know, it's really about how, let me show you kind of, when I'm tracking the acoustic, I kind of have it like off of me, like you said. Let me pull up this other camera angle to where I can just see myself here. And yeah, it's like I have it like off of me. See how much room there's like, that's pretty long ways in between. And I have it just, this is just kind of resting there. It's not putting a lot of pressure on. And it allows me to not choke the instrument out, you know, with too many things pressing against the body and the top. You know, I think that's really important, is to make sure the guitar has got room to breathe in there. Robert says, hey, Wood, taking a break from the Jamaican hurricane streams. Pleasant surprise. Hope you're good, my friend. Let's just check this out. The Taylor 514 CE has a nice electric neck. I've not played that. Or if I have, I can't remember. True World is saying I got the LR bags pickups on the Martins. It sounds really good. Right, you know, that's what that is. That's the Anthem SL. And I love it. Yeah. When you guys play acoustic, if you're not used to playing acoustic, you have a tendency to press it up against your body. And they actually make, let me grab this. This is actually kind of interesting right here. They make this for mandolin for the same reason. This is like a cage that goes on the back of the mandolin to where it keeps the mandolin off of your body. Like, here's the mandolin, and it's got all this room to where it's like not pressing against the body, your body, right? And you don't really necessarily have to do that with an acoustic guitar because you got enough room to kind of like set it out. But a mandolin's so tiny that when it's on you, most of it's touching you. So that's where something like this is really valuable. You can get this from, you guys know the guy named Banjo Ben who teaches on YouTube and has workshops and things. You can get that from Banjo Ben's store. He's killer. Great dude. All right. A couple more questions before we roll out. Gamer Guy says it's more about the picking attack feel because I've found that people that play 9s or 8s have a nice heavy tone, but I think they might adjust their playing to create. Hold on. Are we talking about electrics or acoustics? Acoustics is that's the name of the game on the heavy strings. On electrics, I use 9 to 46. I use a hybrid set for Fender. But on Gibson scale length, Les Pauls, PRS, I know PRS is on scale length, but I use 10s on those size. Yeah. Andy, my friends call me True, so call me True. It's easier. Yeah. All right. Dave Lavallo says, which D'Addario strings? It's the XS set, and they are coated, but golly dang, they feel nice. They just feel really good, and they last so much longer than normal strings for me. I have really like a high pH balance or a high acidic balance, one or the other. Something's off whack in my sweat, and I could just corrode strings. You guys have friends like that, or maybe you went to Guitar Center and you're like, who the hell played this before me? Like, probably a guy like me that's just got really corrosive sweat. Dave says he's been using Elixir for years. I want you to try these strings out, Dave. Elixirs add too much tension for me. That's not a true, the 10 isn't a true 10 gauge. It feels heavier, almost like an 11. The XS strings from D'Addario feels proper. Like a 9 feels like a 9. You know what I mean? 13 feels like a 13, etc. That's Big Gamer is saying the tighter strings would give louder tone, but it also depends on the scale length and string gauge. All of this is true. There's so much mathematical equation going on. Nothing is the way. However, all the acoustic dreadnought tones that I like, the guy's using 13s. And when I've tried 12s, they're super fun because they're so slinky. But the moment I'm playing with a banjo or a fiddle and I'm digging in, the 12 is not enough. I gotta have the 13 so I can get in there and dig without knocking the instrument sharp. Right? I think that's a big thing too. Is like it's real easy to knock that guitar sharp. Just put Lucas says just put the XS set on the Mando. I love the XS set. And they're actually doing a set for Chris Thiele that's got a hybrid mismatch mix set. I'm going to try that set for mandolin next. It's Chris Thiele set. Big Boy's saying, I'm trying to save people from arthritis. Hey, listen, I don't think you're not bending a lot on the acoustic guitar. So it's that idea, it's like you're not playing like Stevie Ray Vaughan licks. You know what I mean? It's like you're playing the style. I treat the acoustic guitar like it's its own instrument. It's not, I don't play electric guitar like I play the acoustic. They're very, very different. And I think with that said, I don't have any fear of getting any kind of hand problems. That's just me though. Yeah, Robert says, thanks for the lesson. It's a great platform with questions and answers. I like live streaming. I like it. It's fun to have the community aspect. And we actually do, if you're into this, we do on my Patreon every Wednesday night, we do a Zoom call. And that's true like Q&A. And I'll set up everything and guys ask questions and we dig in. So that's on patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. You could sign up and get into those master classes and they're really fun. So a couple more questions here and then we'll call it because I actually have to finish another set of overdubs. I got some sessions I got to do. So yeah. And then here we go. 12s on acoustic. Okay, fine. 13s in XS. Here we go. Just try them, Dave. I think you'll like them a lot. I think the 12 in Elixir might even feel like more tension than the 13 on the XS. It's really close. It's going to be a very similar tension. Lucas says, do you use your blue chip model on the acoustic and the Mando? Yes, I use the same. It's the CT55. I use that on acoustic and Mando. However, when I'm tracking acoustic, I like to have several different picks of different gauges. Like here's one that's like paper thin, and I'll use that for like kind of Eagles sounding rhythm parts. And I know better than to play any Eagles songs on YouTube. They don't like that. I feel like Bill Murray and Ghostbusters. They hate that. They hate that. So we're not going to play any Eagles songs on here. Otto says, do you still do lessons, Andy? I do, only through Patreon. You can, let me rephrase that. You can book one a la carte, one-off, but it's going to cost more than I think, the average person is willing to pay. Usually the a la carte things are more like hardcore guys that are like trying, like career players, and are trying to, really hardcore level it up. And Patreon is the best offer that I have for the one-on-ones. It's in one of the tiers. You can just go up to the top, get that tier. You get a lesson every month and access to all the live master classes that I teach on there. So yeah, 66 millimeters for Eddie Van Halen only. I mean, dude, yeah, it's like that's the thing. It's like you got to have different pick gauges for different things for sure. Big Boy says, I feel like heavy high tension strings can go lower without buzzing. They really can, because they don't have that thwack against the fretboard, as you hit them. They remain pure, because it takes so much more authority to get through them, so much more intensity, right? Yeah. So with that said, little housekeeping here. It's going to be a Halloween weekend. I have a lot to get done this week. I've got to make about 6 videos. I've got overdubs and sessions. Making set lists for the Andy Wood live show, which I'm excited about. Writing the new Kennedy Wood record. We've got another song in the oven, so we've got 4 done. Not done, sorry. We got 4 in the oven in addition to our EP that we did. That's going to be a great record. I'm really fired up about that. But yeah, there's so much to get done this week, but I am going to do something a little festive and do a Halloween themed video. And I'm going to teach you guys how to play Master Gracie's Manor, because it's very Halloween. I'm going to make that video hopefully tonight. And we're going to go through just a couple of different sections in how to play that tune and go over a couple of different parts. I don't know if we'll get into the crazy arpeggios that are in it, because that's pretty bananas. But that might be something cool for Patreon, maybe an exclusive thing. But we'll do maybe how to teach the head to Master Gracie's Manor, because that is super fun on the Halloween thing. And also, on that note, everyone needs to go check out the Imagineering, This Is Imagineering page that Disney has. And they just released a thing on the haunted mansions all across the world. Really killer. Like that, for those who don't know, that's the inspiration for the tune. And hope everyone has a great Halloween. I'm going, I've got a nice costume. Last year I was Raiden from Mortal Kombat. This year I'm going to be Magneto from X-Men. Got the helmet and the whole deal. Going to be awesome. Really going to piece together that costume. I might even do the 90s X-Men theme. I might work that up on electric guitar. That might be kind of fun. True says he's going to dress up for me for Halloween. That's be great. You get lots of versions to choose from, right? You could do the baseball cap. You can do the bandana. You can do, what else? You could do the brimmed hat like I wear when I dress up in a suit. A lot of choices there. Me and Ben Eller have threatened each other year after year. We're going to dress up as Eric Johnson and Steve Vai at some point. We're going to do it. I know we're going to do it. Not this year, but yeah, Dave says I'm dressing up as Uncle Ben. Yeah. Okay. With that said, everyone have a great Halloween week. Be safe. Have fun out there. And, if you have mini martinis at your Halloween party, don't drive. Get that Uber. It'd be worth it. I promise you. That said, everyone be safe this week. Be blessed. Practice. Go practice. See you guys next week.